was one of the most challenging things that I've done in a while, emotionally, mentally.
It not only helps me, but I enjoy helping everyone else. It's growth for all.
We did our first veterans project with a lot of locals, and the veterans, of course, the Diavolo team came out, but I don't know if I would have been able to connect with all the rest of these veterans from coast to coast the way we would have been able to, the way we did.
I haven't really had much contact with veterans since I left the service, but I really enjoyed getting to explore everyone's victories and accomplishments and their moments of strength. And it's been wonderful.
I think life gives you things when you need it most, and this project has been I don't know if I would be here if it weren't for this project. So I really all of you just being yourselves has helped my mental health more than you all know.
This is about connection, and it's about, truth and healing.
There's a specific part of my poem where, I suffer silently, and there's a lot of people that are out there that are suffering silently. So the workshop gave a good opportunity to get some of that out, so it was great. It was tough, like I said, but it was great. Thank you so much.
This does mean a lot to me, and I'll keep coming back.
The veterans everywhere need this.
Emily Grable, Cranford, New Jersey, civilian.
Joseph Geibler, United States Navy, Newcastle, Delaware. Lost in the trees with nothing to see, drowning in the ocean, gasping for air. Go live your life, no regret, no care. Punishing our seed instead of punishing me. Thought I knew the real you, but like a reflection in the mirror, my nightmare came true. Seeing the side hurts my soul. Tears falling from my face, no control. I loved you till I lost myself, till it deteriorated my mental health. I was defeated, I must admit. But as long as you knew me, I never quit. My heart and soul are tired and sore. You may win the battle, but not the war. When we first met, there were not enough minutes in the day to satisfy my hunger to see you. Not enough kisses we could give. I couldn't feel your hand in mine enough. The world tried its best to separate us. Temptations, stresses, insecurities weren't enough to dent our armor. As you walked in that aisle to me, in my mind, you couldn't get there fast enough. When we had children, we looked at each other with enough love and joy to fill a million oceans. Our days became so full of activities that we never had enough time for each other. The person that laid next to me held my heart, but didn't have the strength to express our love. As frustrations grew, the love we had in the past was not enough to carry us forward to the present. Not enough tears could be shed to move our hearts to fix what was broken. We did just enough to stop the ship from sinking. Till the day came that we realized we had enough. Pinned down, unable to move my arms and legs, won't let me up no matter how much I beg. Stole my freedom, my words go unheard. You were my cage, and I am your bird. With your foot on my chest, I feel defeat, cursing the day that we did meet. A prisoner from my friends and family, each moment you increase the brutality. Your motives I can't understand. Struggling is futile, feels like quicksand. Teasing me with freedom and then you take it back. as you lurk in the shadows with a sneak attack. You take my breath away, anvil on my chest. Can't get away even though I try my best. Finally listens, my captor unveils itself to me, and is what I fear most: anxiety.
Boaz Goss, Tampa, Florida, civilian.
Sergeant Gabriel Miranda, U.S. Army, Orlando, Florida. A letter from the past. Cold Steel, Fort Benning, Georgia. The home of the infantry. Follow me. Lead the way. Values. Loyalty. Duty. Respect. Accept. Follow me. Lead the way. Values. Loyalty. Duty. Respect. Accept. Sir, good copy. Roger that. Motto of a good soldier. 3 safe years, God bless. Then, the incubus of pain. Rip, as quick as that. Torn an inch from life. Blood on red, white, blue. Medic sends chills down spine. Sewn up and issued oxy. Now, as life goes on, a split moment in time. Day in and day out. Fight, or flight, or might. PT, work, indoor, sleep, repeat. Silently suffering, seconds to years. Mouth shut, to all peers. Heart beating, fears of cycles. Constant victories with no feelings. Terrifying fear of impulsive relapse. Mixed sounds of mental stress. What an impact it left. Defected, disabled, unable, incapable, labeled. What an impact it left. Defected, disabled, unable, incapable, labeled. Stigmas, the supposed to be. Further down the dark hole. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. It's time to stay up. Standing tall against our shadows. Standing tall against our shadows. Strong, worthy, proud, veteran father. The greatest man-carrying hero. The rebirth of a super being.
Aleksandra Nalepa, Wrocław, Poland, civilian.
Shannon Corbet, United States Air Force, Los Angeles, California.
To say I love the stage is to say I love the lights that burn. The seams where the facade fades into shadows and passages and equipment. The sanctity, the stillness of silence before action. Have you ever wanted something so deep within you it's part of your bones, your marrow, your sinew? My heart has a cave haunted by dreams, urging me, pounding me, ripping my seams. For years I've lived knowing it's meant for me, reading the signals the universe sent to me, harboring faith in myself with utter audacity, choking back fear with all my capacity, living on fantasies, moments of agony, glimpses of majesty. And finally, I waited in a dressing room that was my own. My name was on the door. I stepped into the uniform and into a new world, a new human who looked like me and talked like me and sounded just like me. For she was mine. I had trained. I had prepared. I had staved away the fear, and I was ready. In perfect moments, there is a deep ability to be completely present. In perfect moments, there is a deep ability to be completely present. Every cell of my structure primed, but more than that, every piece of me drinking in the nectar of victory, savoring that singular sweetness, vibrating with the joy of it. My nerves were my power. My voice was my task, and I rang it out in a room that was watching. 13 beats, and I became eternal. 13 steps just so. If I blinked, who could ever blame me? If I blinked, who would ever know? It was the culmination of a lifetime of dreaming. But it was also just the beginning.
Gabrielle Pariseau, Moss Beach, California, civilian.
Karina Ramos, United States Air Force, San Bernardino, California. To whom it may concern. If you are reading this, then I am victorious today. I may not be tomorrow, but I just want to focus on today. I am finally back to feeling like myself again. After months of trying to numb myself from feeling anything or self-cure my insomnia, if I couldn't feel anything, I was able to function throughout the day normally. I just needed a break from my own thoughts. I know I have no right to complain. There are way more important things going on in the world right now. Some days I don't feel strong. They say only the strongest and most adaptable survive. Can I be honest with you? What I crave the most is having peace of mind. It seems like the dead have it. Most days I need superhuman strength. My super serum is humor, laughter. It's good for the soul, it's contagious. I want to leave that behind for the world. Or being the girl that keeps a red nose in her pocket because it keeps me from taking myself too seriously. If I have learned anything from this experience, is that you must be able to take your pain and play with it. Don't worry, today's a good day. Start worrying when the laughter stops.
Jasmine Singer, Los Angeles, California, civilian.
Stacy Moser, United States Air Force, Odessa, Florida. I grew up in the projects with two sisters and a single mom. I was small, skinny, and clearly what others considered meager and unthreatening, but with a big, independent personality. I guess someone saw me differently, saw my potential, so they nominated me for a challenge. 50 of us were split into groups and set off on a 2-week journey into the wilderness. Many in my group admitted they didn't think I was going to make it when they first saw me. One backpack, one canteen, one orange. We camped in the dirt, bathed in the river, canoed white waters, bushwhacked miles through the forest. While this was difficult for some, I found it to be an adventure. I connected with others, mapped out plans, dominated obstacles. I helped when others got sick, and I pulled my new friends up from almost giving up. On the last day, we had to run 5 miles to our finish where our families would be waiting for us. The path through the forest was unclear. We started all together, but some sprinted ahead and some fell behind quickly. There was a lot of guessing which direction to go, but I didn't want to stop, so I ran. I thought those ahead of me would lead the way. At least I hoped so.
No clue if I was even headed in the right direction. At 13 years old, I had no idea what it felt like to run 5 miles, but I just kept telling myself, don't give up, don't let your team down. I jumped logs, crossed streams, and got smacked in the face by branches and the cool shaded trees. Just then a spotter shouted, 1 more mile! What? That was 4? Well, then this last one should just be easy. No. It was the longest mile. Not knowing how far I'd gone was so much easier. I ran up the mountainside, giving it all I had until I burst from the forest line into the grassy field where the sun blinded me and showered down with fierce energy. Still running uphill, it was now getting so hot and I was so tired. It seemed like forever since I'd seen anyone else, and I hoped I had not gotten lost, as there was no trail, no path, no person ahead or behind me. If I could just get to the peak of the hill, I would surely see those way ahead of me and at least know which way to go. Almost to the peak, I wanted to give it everything, because if I was going to finish this challenge, I was leaving nothing on the table. I wanted to finish drained, completely spent, so I dug in, head down, leaning into the hillside, breathing so hard that I almost didn't hear someone at the top shout, "She's coming! The first girl!" Suddenly, the blank horizon exploded with roaring cheers from all the families eagerly waiting. All the strangers' faces cheering, clapping, whistling so loud. For me! Me! This small, scrawny girl who most thought wouldn't make it. The one who the night before was also ranked anonymously by her peers as the one they looked up to most. That girl just finished this challenge 3rd overall. And I finally realized I wasn't lost. I was ahead.
Jimmy and Marcus, United States Marine Corps, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Joseph Geibler, United States Navy, Newcastle, Delaware.
Hello, my lovely girl. I just knew when I saw you, I was knocking on heaven's door. I never thought it would be this way, loving someone more than me, until I saw you and I realized how much God loves you and me. Just to think He sacrificed His perfect child for unperfect you and me, and He did it without thinking twice. Hello, my Lord, I'm on my knees praying to you, 'cause I don't know what to do. How could you love me enough to sacrifice the King of Kings for us ungrateful human beings? You have shown me what love means. Just to think He sacrificed His perfect child for unperfect you and me, and He did it without thinking twice. When I look into her eyes, I think to myself how I want her to stay away from all the pain that life can bring. And I remember your sacrifice. It took the birth of my child for me to understand your love. And it humbles me that I can come to you and you cleanse all my past. Just to think He sacrificed His perfect child for unperfect you and me, and He did it without thinking twice.
McKenna Sussman, Los Angeles, California, civilian.
Linda Leotard, retired Army, Brooklyn, New York. If I'm victorious, remembering a day when I was a winner in a stranger's eyes. The sun was shining so bright as I gazed at the trees in the distance. I felt powerful and ready to be the first one to reach the finish line. I heard the whistle blow and I flew. The trail was slightly wet from the day before, but it did not matter. I exhibited speed, strength, and was leading at the forefront. Nothing was going to deter my goal. As I reached towards the last stretch, I heard a snap and looked back to see a young lady on the ground crying. I did not hesitate to help her to her feet. Stunned, she asked why I stopped. To help you, my friend, I answered with a smile. Let's finish this race together. We slowly jogged in a peaceful silence, and I even giggled as we reached the finish line. Meanwhile, the bewildered crowd gasped as we crossed over. I did not think I would have this victorious feeling with my new friend. I do sometimes wonder if she thinks of how two young girls rose to the occasion when others saw it as defeat. I hope when she's feeling blue and all alone, she knows that there is someone out there thinking of her. Though many see kindness and compassion as a weakness, it is far from it. Victory is not being first place, but making others feel like they are number one.
Bethany Rose Boutwell, Salt Lake City, Utah, civilian.
Jennifer Harmon, U.S. Navy, Tampa, Florida. At the core, I'm a fixer, a doer. I'm the oldest child, over control, type A, OCD. I'm the one people come to for just about everything. I am resourceful and strong and trustworthy and stable. At least that's what everyone thinks. What you see is what I give you. But I am broken and bruised and bleeding. Not on the outside, of course. You would never know. 'Cause my shell is strong, which makes me resilient and persistent. I try and I fail and I try and I fail again. It makes me feel powerless, like I have no control. But I do. Letting go gives me power. It puts me back in control. So I choose to confront my fears, to go into battle against the demons. I return to the scene, and logic tells me it's fine. I breathe in deeply as my heart begins to pound and my mouth turns dry. The world around me spins, and snapshots flicker through my mind, and it's happening all over again. But sometimes, if I stop and look around, I realize that despite it all, I am victorious. If only I could see what you see. Same image, different perspective. Despite it all, I am victorious. If only I could see what you see. Same image, different perspective.
Caribe Franque, Caracas, Venezuela, civilian.
Demian Marcus, United States Marine Corps, Salt Lake City, Utah. I climbed Olympus for my birthday last December. It was meant to be a self-gifted adventure to ease the sorrow of a trying year. Overdressed even though it was winter, it wasn't long before I had to shed layers, then realized I hadn't brought enough water. With rampant thoughts acting as my marching escort, the trek before me became a test of spirit and resolve. But what was the end-all Why climb this mountain at all? Would my singular resolve be enough to free myself from the life that had once revolved around young love, now dissolved? I sought to be absolved from my pain, but did not know how to evolve. A burn for which I had no salve, it was a riddle I could not solve. Trapped in a long tunnel with narrow walls, quickly flooding with no stop valve, the only way to survive was to soldier through, and if I was not meant to fly with doves, but rise over the rain above, then I had to climb this mountain hereof. And so I climbed. Step by step I carried on, walking while not knowing my final destination. It was tough, and fatigue made the body shudder. Long was the path, but my motivation could never falter. Slippery trails and heavy feet, I would not admit defeat, nor could I quit until I tasted that sweet victory I'd find at the peak. And when I found myself there, stillness filled the air. Calm, serene, it was absolutely quiet. The distant world below was silent, leaving me to stand alone amidst the stones and the trees, and finally, on that somber summit amongst the winter freeze, I felt at peace.